We all know how powerful employee advocacy can be to our employer brand, right? Getting all the staff to understand what the brand is, what its concept is, to share messaging that aligns to those ideas on their social media while they talk about their work, new open roles, news, whatever that is, super powerful to you. It really activates the brand. It really gets your message to brand new networks you would normally never be able to touch. Now, there's plenty of tools that make that incredibly easy. Some of them help you write the actual copy. Some of them come up with some really nice creative, some visuals. Some of them have tracking so you know who is sharing the most posts. Some of them offer ways of gamifying so that you know not only who's sharing the most, but whose shares are doing the most good. And like I said, there are lots of tools that do it. But this isn't a conversation about how to pick that tool. This is a conversation around how to get to that point. Because you and I both know you don't have a lot of money to play with. You do not have money to gamble. When you make a bet, when you make an investment, you want to make sure it's going to pay off. How do you make sure that happens when it comes to employee advocacy? We'll talk about that in a second. First off, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to click the subscribe button down here. That way you'll get up to date when new videos come out. And I'm making a lot of videos, so hopefully you're enjoying them. If you're not on YouTube, if you're watching this on LinkedIn or someplace else, make sure to share the videos if they're useful to you. If they're useful to you, they might be useful to somebody else. Also, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, employerbrandheadlines.substack.com, to get weekly updates on good thinking in employer brand. All right, so back to advocacy. There's a really, really simple, and when I say simple, I mean super, super cheap. And when I say super, super cheap, I mean free, which is my favorite word. There is a free way to test or to at least prepare your company for your advocacy tool. So let's say you've got budget and you're going to start an advocacy project in 6 months. It's a bit of time between now and then. Between now and then, though, what you can do to make sure that when the project gets launched, that you have interest, awareness, that the staff know and are aware of what this tool is, they know how to use it, they know why it's useful, is to train them. Think of this as advocacy practice. What you do is you start a newsletter, an internal-only newsletter. And that newsletter, maybe you launch it on a Friday. Every Friday you say, hey, here are the 3 posts on LinkedIn. I'd love it if you shared. You do the good work of writing good copy. None of this, we're hiring stuff. We've covered that. Don't do that. But a really interesting brand connected bit of information, a graphic where it's appropriate. You've researched the hashtags that you want to connect to. You know better. Remember, you know better about hashtags in LinkedIn than a lot of the people you're sharing this stuff with. So do the research for them. Give them 2 or 3 posts. Say, I would love it if you copy and pasted this into your LinkedIn today, just one of them, and maybe do another on Monday, or maybe do another on Tuesday. Give them the information. The thing that keeps most people from doing advocacy is they don't know what to say. And that's where those tools, those ones that you're going to pay for, that's where they do a lot of good. They let you write some of that copy. But until you have those tools, you can just simply write in a newsletter. They copy the information and they paste it in LinkedIn. LinkedIn will register that's a hashtag, that's a tag, and there you go. Upload the photo or the video or what have you, and boom, suddenly you're getting people to share. Now, you can't just suddenly start sending an all-hands email every Friday. That would be a little crazy. And somebody raised some eyebrows, and you don't want that yet. Start with your recruiters. Start with your recruiters and maybe ask them if they've got a hiring manager or two who they know is game, is willing to play. Make a simple list. You can do it in Outlook, you can do it in Gmail, you can do it if you wanted to go crazy. You can go to tinyletter.com and make an actual newsletter. Heck, you could even go to Substack, which is what I use for employer brand headlines. It's free. And you have an email list. People can subscribe and unsubscribe as they see fit. Copy the information, maybe even, throw in some, hey, this was a big deal this week. Hey, we made a big win this week. Hey, did you notice the career site got updated to this information this week? It's a great way to start distributing the wins and the work you're doing, along with the copy that they're going to want. Don't do it more than a week. You do it more than once a week, people are going to feel like you're spamming them, and you don't want to be that person. Once a week is plenty. Over the course of 6 months, add new people to the list. Ask people who else should get this email, who else needs to know this information, and you are effectively training large sections of the staff about this idea of advocacy, of sharing information and content for them to share on their social networks, so that when your tool actually gets launched, Day one, it's driving value because those staff members, they get it. They've been doing it for months and they understand what this is. Oh, you just made it easier for them. Thanks so much. And that can grow. So if you're ready to get serious about advocacy and advocacy tools, don't skip the part where you teach people how to use it. And I don't mean send a class. I mean send out a newsletter every week teaching them how to use the copy that's employer branded. All right, thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.